Ladies and gentlemen, it's my turn and privilege to request the dignitaries to kindly come over to the dais. Please put your hands together for our Chief Guest, Shri S. Suresh Kumar, the Honorable Minister, Law, Urban Development, Parliamentary Affairs and BWSSB, Government of Karnataka, Shri Jitendra Chowdhury, Honorable Forest Minister, Government of Tripura, Shri Dr. P.J. Dilip Kumar, Director General and Special Secretary, Ministry of Environment and Forests, Government of India, Dr. V.K. Bahuguna, Director General, Indian Council for Forestry Research and Education, Dehradun, Dr. R. Michael Martin, Director, Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, Rome. A special round of applause to our guests, please. Dr. Howard Rosen, Chair, International Union Forest Research Organization, Working Party on Wood Culture. Shri S.C. Joshi, Director, Institute of Wood Science and Technology, Bangalore. And Dr. C.N. Pandey, Director, Indian Plywood Industries Research and Training Institute, Bangalore. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we start off the podium function, I would request all of you to kindly switch off your mobiles or keep it in the safe mode so that there will be no disturbance during the inaugural session. It's our sincere request to kindly put your mobiles in the silent. And also, if most of you can come to the front rows, some of our friends, as you are all aware, people staying in different parts of Bangalore, traffic is one of the major constraints, but the metro is going to be inaugurated tomorrow. So the traffic also will be eased from tomorrow onwards. So why don't all of you kindly come to the front rows and occupy your seats so that the friends joining in late will occupy the seats back. So kindly, next 1 minute, kindly come forward quickly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this conference and exhibition is one of the number of events which is being held around the world to celebrate the International Year of Forests. Now, the event reflects our belief that greater wood use can make a significant and valuable contribution to society's desire for a more sustainable future. It is also based on the conviction that a sustainable and prosperous forest product sector is essential for sustainable forest management. On behalf of the entire organizing team, I am Shankar Prakash, extending a very, very warm welcome to all of you to this international conference on Rediscover Wood, the Key to a Sustainable Future. A very hearty welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning to you. Tammellarigu Accha Kannadadalli ee dinada ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. As per the rich cultural tradition of a wonderful country, India, where we all live, we start the proceedings with our prayer to the Almighty, the Goddess of Knowledge, Saraswati. I would request Ms. Lata Narayanan, Sujata Mathur and Sri Lata to offer salutations to Goddess Saraswati on our behalf. Please welcome them.
चरणौ प्रणमामः। जय जय हे भगवति सुरभारति, तव चरणौ प्रणमामः। नाद ब्रह्ममयि जय वागेश्वरि, नाद ब्रह्ममयि जय वागेश्वरि, शरणं ते तव चरणौ प्रणमामः। त्वमसि शरण्या त्रिभुवनधन्या, त्वमसि शरण्या त्रिभुवनधन्या, सुरमुनिवन्दितचरणा। नवरसमधुरा कविता मुखरा, नवरसमधुरा कविता मुखरा, स्मितरुचि रुचिराभरणा। जय जय हे भगवति सुरभारति, तव चरणौ प्रणमामः। सरसहंसे कुन्दतु हि न शशिधवले हरजडतां कुरु बोधिविकासं हरजडतां कुरु बोधिविकासं सितपङ्कजतनु विमले जय जय हे भगवति सुरभारति तव चरणौ प्रणमामः ललितकलामयि ज्ञानविभामयि ललितकलामयि ज्ञानविभामयि वीणापुस्तकधारिणी मतिरां साम्नो तव पदकमले मतिरां साम्नो तव पदकमले वैकुण्ठाविषहारिणी जय जय हे भगवति सुरभारति तव चरणौ प्रणमामः नाद ब्रह्ममयि जय वागेश्वरि नाद ब्रह्ममयि जय वागेश्वरि शरणं ते गच्छामः जय जय हे भगवति सुरभारति तव चरणौ प्रणमामः 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 प्रणमामः।
Thank you very much, Lata Narayanan, Sujata Matada, and Sri Lata for providing a very bhaktiful, soulful, and a melodious beginning to today's proceedings. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, wood products are indeed an indispensable part of human life. But the importance of wood production is sometimes overlooked in debates about forestry and forest management. Now, due to this lack of attention, has indeed provided the motivation to try to explore the issues, to think creatively, and in particularly to see how far the social dimensions of wood use in terms of culture, traditions, and aesthetics can be integrated into the development of the sector. At this juncture, I would request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly go over there and light the lamp to signal the beginning of this all-important conference. The Honorable Minister of Law, Urban Development, Parliamentary Affairs and BWSSB, Shri Suresh Kumar, Shri Jitendra Chaudhary, Honorable Forest Minister, Dr. P.J. Dilip Kumar, Dr. V.K. Bahuguna, and Dr. R. Michael Martin. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is hoped that this may bring new perspectives and shed new light on how wood use can continue to contribute to sustainable development and remain firmly connected to human life. Just as we all know, Bangalore is the IT city, BT city, the technological capital of India. Now the lamp lighting also is done in a high-tech way with bulbs at the wick portion, which will be illuminated by the pressing of the switch. The dignitaries will do that, and all of us, wherever we are, please put your hands together and signal your approval for this all-important, noble endeavor. Kindly put your hands together and express your solidarity with this all-important international conference on rediscovering wood, the key to a sustainable future. As a natural material made from a renewable resource that stores carbon and can easily be recycled, wood and wood products have many positive environmental attributes. Thank you very much to all the dignitaries on the dais. At this juncture, I would request Shri S.C. Joshi, Director IWST, for the introductory remarks and welcome address.
Honorable Shri S. Suresh Kumar, Minister for Law, Urban Development and Parliamentary Affairs, Government of Karnataka. Honorable Shri Jitendra Chaudhary, Minister for Rural Development, Forest Industries and Commerce, Government of Tripura, and other dignitaries on the dais. It is a matter of great privilege and pride for IWST and me personally that I have got this opportunity to welcome eminent and distinguished guests on the dais, as well as guests from all over the world who have come to participate in this international conference, which I would say delectably titled Art and Joy of Wood. This conference is sponsored by FAO and hosted by Ministry of Environment and Forest and jointly organized by Institute of Wood Science Technology, IWST, of Indian Council of Forest Research and Education, and Indian Plywood Industries Research Training Institute, APRITI of Ministry of Environment and Forest. We are indeed overwhelmed by the response to the conference. I would like to inform the August delegates that we have 273 participants. Maybe as our speaker has told you that there is some problem of transportation in our city. People may be still coming, but we have 273 participants from 31 countries across the continent, such as America, UK, Australia, Switzerland, Italy, Japan, Germany, China, Sri Lanka, Philippines, Ghana, Cameroon, Bhutan, Vietnam, Thailand, etc. Now, we also have a total of 8 highly acclaimed artists from artisans from as delegates from different countries like Ghana, Cameroon, and China, Japan, Indonesia. We have 15 highly distinguished award-winning artisans from India who are participating in this conference and maybe showing you their crafts during the conference. And further, in order to encourage the budding wood scientists to get them exposure to the very widely experienced wood using academic and professional community, 40 postgraduate students of Wood Science of Forest Research Institute, FRI of ICFRE, are also invited in this workshop, in this seminar. I have used the term delectable for the title of the conference, Art and Joy of Wood, primarily as the title primarily connotes socio-cultural aspect of wood use as contrast to commonly encountered titles purporting to deal with technical or economic aspect. However, as may have been discerned by the participants, the conference tends to discuss and analyze in detail the topic of wood use in a holistic and temporally relevant manner. The conference has a great temporal relevance, particularly for the emerging economies, since, as per my humble understanding, it is in these economies once widely prevalent art and joy of wood use has in the present times not only greatly reduced and threatened, but also there emerged in several of these countries, such as in India, a tendency to view wood use in general as an ecologically and environmentally unsustainable activity. However, we also are now indeed seeing a paradigm shift where, given the enhanced awareness on climate change and its negative consequences, and emerging consciousness about need to use greener materials with less carbon footprint, greener technologies and sustainable approach to development, wood use has emerged as one of the most relevant alternatives. This entails a thorough examination of the prevalent notion that wood use leads to deforestation and therefore causes ecological and environmental degradation among a wide array of assorted groups and individuals categorized as environmentalists in emerging economies, particularly like India. And over the years, clout and influence of these groups, particularly in India, have increased to such an extent that on the one hand, environmentally conscious politicians, particularly those in charge of environment and forest ministries, prefer providing overarching importance to environmental issues, at times taking narrower view of conservation and sustainable development. On the other hand, forest managers and forest custodians, in the background of their inherent limitation over the years, have not been able to develop appropriate policies and practices, have been marginalized in a sense. They found themselves unable to face the challenge of criticism by environmentally conscious groups, and on the other hand, meeting the demand of various stakeholders in a sustainable manner. Now, this is a kind of a paradoxical situation in emerging economies, particularly as for my understanding of conditions in India. Consequently, in the present times and in these emerging economies, the dominant discourse among the NGOs, environmentalists and civil societies, and therefore due to their influence on political thought, is that wood use is associated with loss of trees and forests, and that in turn lead to reduction or loss of livelihood of rural poor tribals, besides causing ecological and environmental degradation. Now, this is the kind of paradox which I referred to. However, such views indicate lack of holistic understanding of various factors responsible for present-day scenario in forestry sector in general and wood use in particular in emerging economies. The need of the hour, therefore, is to view the whole question of forest management and wood use in a holistic manner. Once so viewed, it is my firm belief that the present-day issues and misgivings related with forestry management and wood use can be removed. In turn, these emerging economies can adopt a greener development in which conservation can coexist with development. In fact, on examining these issues deeply in a holistic manner, it would emerge that in the present times, wood use should not only be encouraged, but the whole historical capabilities of wood use culture, which was existing in these economies related with the art and joy of wood, must be revived and strengthened. I hope the present conference in the coming 3 days will bring out all these dimensions and be able to provide a new perspective of wood use to all the participants so as to kindle and ingrain in them the true spirit of art and joy of wood. With these words, sir, I come to my duty to welcoming the guests and delegates. I have the honor of welcoming Honorable Minister Shri S. Suresh Kumar, Minister for Law, Urban Development and Parliamentary Affairs, Government of Karnataka. Shri Suresh Kumar belongs to Mangalore region of Karnataka. He has many achievements as a person, as a statesman, as an individual. As a Minister for Law, his achievements include setting up of Law University, which was long-standing demand of the state, setting up Law Commission to improve the legal system and several schemes to encourage budding lawyers. As an Urban Development Minister, he is credited with introducing a new development policy. Shri Suresh Kumar is not only a politician but a multifaceted personality. One of his favorite passions is writing. He often writes columns in leading dailies despite his tight schedules. These columns has been much acclaimed and eagerly read. Above all, Shri Suresh Kumar is considered as an honest and able minister whose integrity and statesmanship in politics is largely accepted by all sections of Karnataka society. I welcome you, sir, Honorable Minister, to this function to accept our invitation as chief guest on behalf of everyone. Shri Jiten Chaudhary, Minister for Rural Development, Forests and Industries and Commerce, Government of Tripura, the presiding officer of this function, has been serving as a Cabinet Minister, Government of Tripura since 1993 and held portfolios like Revenue, Education, Information, Culture, Tourism, Science and Technology, Environment and Youth Affairs and Sports besides present charges. He has visited countries like Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, Cuba, England, Russia, Germany, Italy and many others. Shri Chaudhary is highly respected as one of the senior-most Minister of Government of Tripura. Due to his vast experience and statesmanship, Shri Chaudhary is considered to be an invaluable member of past several governments of Tripura. Due to his stature, he is widely considered next to present Chief Minister of Tripura, and his views have always been treated as government's decisions. I welcome Shri Jiten Chaudhary, presiding officer of the function, on behalf of FAO, MOEF, IPRITI and IWST, and on my own behalf. Dr. P.J. Dilip Kumar, Director General of Forests and Special Secretary, Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India, is an eminent Indian Forest Service officer of 1974 batch Karnataka cadre, and he is Director General of Forest, Government of India since July 2009. He is an alumni of IIT Bombay, and he has done his PhD in Forest Economics from University College of North Wales, Bangor, UK, and also MA Economics from Punjab University, apart from basic training in forestry at National Forest Academy, Dehradun. He has served in various capacities in the Forest Department, in Forest Research and Education, Forest Corporations, etc., both in Karnataka and Government of India. His interest includes development and conservation, bird watching, photography, tracking, classical music, and reading non-fiction. He has many national and international publications into his credit and won many awards. The host organizing institute, that is IWST, where I work presently, has a long association and special respect for him, as he was the first group coordinator research of this institute. I welcome Dr. Dilip Kumar on behalf of FAO, MOEF, IPRITI, IWST. I would like to welcome Dr. V.K. Bahuna, Director General, Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education. Dr. Bahuna, who is an eminent Indian Forest Service officer of 79 batch and presently Director General ICFRI and Chancellor FRI Deemed University, Ministry of Environment. He has done his PhD in Forest Ecology from University of Garhwal, MSc in Resource Management from University of Edinburgh, postgraduate diploma in Forestry from Indian Forestry College. He is a winner of prestigious Queen's Award for Forestry in the year 2000 from Commonwealth Forestry Association UK, delivered keynote address in 16th Commonwealth Forestry Conference in Perth in 2001. He has won State Memorial and Brandeis Memorial Prizes for writing best articles of photography in the Journal of Indian Forester. So far, he has published more than 160 papers in international national journals of repute on various aspects of forestry and natural resource management. I welcome Dr. Bahuna, Director General, on behalf of FAO, MOEF, IPRITI, IWST. Dr. Michael Martin is the Director of Forest Economics, Policy and Products of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. The FAO Forestry Department helps nations to manage their forests in a sustainable way. The organization approach balances social, economic, and environmental objectives so that present generation can reap the benefits of Earth's foremost resources. Dr. Martin previously worked with USDA Forest Service and USDI Bureau of Land Management Regional Economist, Chief Economist, and Director for International Forestry Operation in Oregon, Alaska, Washington, D.C. In fact, I would like to tell the gathered audience, it is possibly the brainchild of Dr. Martin that we are having this workshop or conference today, because right from the beginning when this whole idea of art and joy was being aired around, I was asking one of my colleagues, Dr. Whiteman, what is it about? They said it's a brainchild of Dr. Martin. I wish Dr. Martin would be able to clarify all this art and joy in a much better way than any one of us. He has been relentless in his pursuit to see that this workshop comes out in a really successful manner. On behalf of ICFRE, on behalf of Ministry, and on behalf of IPRITI and IWST, and on my own behalf, sir, we welcome you to this seminar. Dr. Howard Rosen has pursued a long and distinguished career in wood science and forest products research. He started working for the USDA Forest Service as a research scientist focusing on hardwood utilization, wood drying, wood physics, and energy production from forest biomass. Following this, he joined the Forest Service Research and Development staff in Washington, D.C. to perform a number of technical duties and support science policy for forest products programs throughout the United States. Dr. Rosen retired in 2006 and now works as volunteer for the U.S. Forest Service. He is also active in many professional organizations and is the chair of UFRO Working Party on Wood Culture. Now, Dr. Rosen, I was told, is one of the very senior and very experienced wood lover from the point of view of this workshop. We look forward to have his vast experience being given to us in the form of various of his contributions. On behalf of MOFU, FAO, ICFRE, IWST, IPRITI, I'll welcome Dr. Rosen to this conference, sir. Dr. C.N. Pandey, Director of IPRITI, is a renowned scientist in wood science. He started working as a scientist in Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, mainly focusing on hardwood utilization, wood drying, etc. He has 75 national and international publications, 4 books to his credit. He has won many prestigious awards. He is a recipient of ICFRE Excellence Award for his outstanding contribution in the field of wood utilization research. Being co-organizer of this function, he is part of our host group. However, for all his guidance, support to IWST, I welcome Dr. C.N. Pandey on behalf of MOF, FAO, ICFRE and IWST. I welcome all the delegates, distinguished participants from abroad and India. I welcome all invited speakers and other invited guests. I take this opportunity to welcome senior and working and retired forest officers who have been invited to this conference. I take this opportunity to welcome all the members of media and newspapers and other members who have been invited for this workshop. I welcome everyone. If I miss somebody, welcome to this conference.
Thank you, Shri Joshi, for extending a very cordial welcome and also for the introductory remarks and introducing the dignitaries on the dais. As a token of love and affection, kindly accept a bouquet from the entire team. Mr. Joshi, please, a huge round of applause to Mr. Joshi. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just heard a bit about Shri S. Suresh Kumar, the Honorable Minister for Urban Development, Law and Parliamentary Affairs and BWSSP Government of Karnataka. Well, indeed, he believes in simple living and high thinking, and he has proved with his work for the overall development of Karnataka and the portfolios which he has undertaken. He has several dreams for this wonderful state. It's our privilege to listen to the words of Shri S. Suresh Kumar. Please put your hands together and welcome Shri Suresh Kumar.
ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಸುಂದರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ವೇದಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಸೀನರಾಗಿರುವ ತ್ರಿಪುರಾ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಅರಣ್ಯ ಖಾತೆ ಸಚಿವರು, ಕೈಗಾರಿಕಾ ಮತ್ತು ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ಸಚಿವರು ಆದ ಶ್ರೀ ಜಿತೇಂದ್ರ ಚೌಧರಿ ಅವರೇ, ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಮಹಾನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪಿ.ಜೆ. ದಿಲೀಪ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಡೆಹ್ರಾಡೂನಿನ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಮಹಾನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿ.ಕೆ. ಬಹುಗುಣರವರೇ, ವಿಶ್ವಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಆಹಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಕೃಷಿ ಸಂಘಟನೆಯ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್. ಮೈಕೆಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಿನ್ ಅವರೇ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೋವಾರ್ಡ್ ರೋಸೆನ್ ಅವರೇ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿ.ಎನ್. ಪಾಂಡೆ, ಶ್ರೀ ಎಸ್.ಸಿ. ಜೋಶಿ ಅವರೇ, ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ಕನ್ನಡ, our state's language. I wanted to welcome in my language. Friends, this is one of the rarest occasions where science, culture, art and joy have come together on the same platform to felicitate, recognize, commemorate the legacy of wood and broadcast the saga of wood. This is a joyous occasion of celebrating wood, its art and joy. I am really overwhelmed to be amidst of the galaxy of wood lovers and address you all who have come from different parts of the world. The International Conference and Exhibition on the Art and Joy of Wood is indeed a privilege and honor to this state of Karnataka, which is well known for its art and culture linked to wood. Woods and wood cannot be separated from our lives and also from our culture. In urbanization, we look forward to natural beauty which we get at home and out of home in trees, timber and wood products. In fact, we daily celebrate the art and joy of wood. Karnataka's state forest cover is to the tune of 18% of its area. Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary was telling that in Tripura it is 78%. So in Karnataka it is just 18%. We plant all sorts of trees in our streets, roads, building premises to green, clean and purify our environment and provide oxygen-rated air for the health and sustenance of our millions of citizens and other living creatures. Trees like rain tree, gulmohar, casuarina, neem, peltophorum are all around us, spreading their flowery canopies. Since olden days, the art and practice of growing trees were with the intention of providing shade and colorful flowery ambience to our premises. Now we are looking at tailor-made looks, uniformity of appearance, strength to bear the ghastly winds and flooding rains. Selection of tree on a scientific basis should be our agenda, and knowledge of wood, science and technology would play a prime role in our decisions. The practice of naming the avenues with the name of the tree species is in vogue in our cities since princely days. For example, Sampige Road, that is Michaelia Road, Gulmohar Marg, Margosa Road, etc. We encounter many environmental issues, pollution, deforestation, degradation, all man-made. For all these maladies, trees are the answer. They provide the man's most favorite material, the wood. Trees, their stem and wood reveal diverse ambience, color and beauty. Our villages and our cities, our huts and our palaces enjoy the elegance of wooden furniture. Our country is with many temples, churches, mosques, all of which are made up of diverse timbers, all of which have withstood the test of time. The beauty and life in wooden sculptures adoring our temples and palaces, no words can explain. On this auspicious day, I join all of you in celebrating the art and joy of this precious, timeless material, wood. Wood is good before, now and forever. Thank you, friends. Thank you, one and all.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister said this is probably the only platform where the science, art, culture, joy have come in together and congregated. And also, wood is good. Thank you very much, sir, for your highly inspiring and motivating address. At this juncture, I would request Shri Joshi to kindly felicitate the Honorable Minister. Let's all thank in unison for the august presence of the Honorable Minister, Shri Suresh. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Howard Rosen has pursued a long and distinguished career in wood science and forest products research. It's my privilege to request Dr. Howard Rosen, the chair of IUFRO Working Party on Wood Culture, to address all of us. Please put your hands together and let's all welcome Dr. Howard Rosen.
Namaste. Oh, it's a real privilege to be here in India. I was here 42 years ago, and I enjoyed myself so much that I brought my wife this time. I'm also Vice President of the International Wood Culture Society. Chung Shi was unable to come here. He is the president. I'm the vice president. As I said, was stated, I do a lot of organizational work. First, I'm going to talk about the International Wood Culture Society. It's a nonprofit, non-governmental, global international network of wood enthusiasts dedicated to the research, education, and promotion of wood culture, and it was started in 2007 in the United States. If we want to look at a definition of wood culture, which we'll go into in the technical forums, but it's the human use of activities with wood as well as attributes towards wood, wood products, wood-related environments. It's the value and the way we use wood in our society, and that varies according to country. IWCS strives for the concept, wood is good, using a cultural approach. We have 3 upcoming programs, and we welcome all to participate: the publication of a wood culture journal, a global wood culture tour, and the celebration of World Wood Day, March 21st, which is the spring equinox. Those programs are coming up and will be on the website. I'm giving a talk later, and I'll go into more detail. I'm not going to do it now. We have a group, as you'll see here, from Beijing, where a lot of the work is done, and Michael Wenben Pao is somewhere around here. You'll see him. He's been a great sponsor of this meeting. And Su Jingling, who's in Beijing, is also here. So if you see these people, and their booth is outside. I also have a great opportunity to mesh UFRO with IWCS. We're going to have the Woodworking Party will organize 3 sessions for the upcoming UFRO meeting in 2012, and everyone is welcome to participate. I'm the Working Party Chairman of Wood Culture. We will have 3 sessions in Portugal, July 8th to the 2012 to 8th to the 13th. I hope all of you that are interested would consider presenting papers for that. The Woodworking Party sort of mimics the goals of the International Wood Culture Society, and we work in consort with them. I would like to acknowledge all the organizing partners for this conference, and I want to thank them for all their hard work. I'm looking forward to this conference. I'm giving a paper this afternoon, and I'm going to enjoy the meeting, as I hope all of you will. Shukriya. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Howard, for your nice words. We have on the dais Dr. V.K. Bahuguna, the Director General of Indian Council for Forestry Research and Education. I would request Dr. Bahuguna to address all of us. Please welcome Dr. Bahuguna.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister, Forest, Government of Tripura, Sri Jitendra Chaudhary, Director General of Forest, Government of India, Dr. Martin, Dr. Howard, Dr. Joshi and Dr. Sen Pandey, and all the dignitaries, additional DG Forest, and other senior officer of the Ministry of Environment and Forest, and from the ICFRE, friends from press, ladies and gentlemen, I again extend you all a very warm welcome to this wonderful topic of joy of art of food. And I thank especially the FAO for choosing this country, India, and particularly Bangalore, where very good climatic conditions exist for growing all kind of woods. And this institute, which has done tremendous work in developing our secondary species and doing a lot of research work in wood sciences and technology. Wood, bamboo and other natural fibers from forest have been in use from time immemorial in house construction, and wood still continues to be the favored material in this and allied sector. Rationalizing the utilization of available wood resources through appropriate technology intervention and development of wood alternative from other natural or renewable fibers are among today's essential priorities. Development of efficient technologies for wood and wood waste composites and evolving technologies for manufacturing wood alternatives from natural and renewable fiber are being strongly pursued by different research institutes in the country and other parts of the world. There is considerable pressure to reduce wood use through the substitution of synthetic material, but these materials often require far more energy to produce, are not renewable, and create environmental problems. That is how the topic of this workshop is there before all of us. The solution to this is to optimize processing, better storage and handling of products, improved design which reduce the amount of wood needs, and better methods for protecting wood from physical and biological degradation, and not reducing the fact that we have to cut down on the wastage for which the latest technologies are to be evolved. Lesser but efficient use of wood certainly can lead to a greener and cleaner world around us. Number of fast-growing and short rotation timber species growing in natural plantation or clonal forest were studied in India for their various physical, mechanical, and anatomical properties to find their suitability in different application. Suitability indices for these species for different potential users were made for various end users. Now friends, the Indian Council of Forest Research Institute and its institute, Forest Research Institute and IWST here have done pioneering work in wood utilization over the past 150 years. These institutions have providing basic data and technical know-how for establishment of seasoning industry and have made important contributions to the knowledge of shrinking of wood at different drying temperature, method of preventing excessive shrinkage and collapse during drying. Research has been mainly oriented to develop low-cost methods for seasoning, improving kiln design for efficiency and cost reduction, and develop methods for accelerated degrade-free seasoning of refractory hardwood. The seasoning behavior and schedule of more than 200 Indian timber species have been developed through our efforts. This has helped us to develop secondary species for various wood uses and also to cut wastage of wood. Our research focus has been on various aspects of wood preservation now, such as evaluation of natural durability and treatability of plantation wood species under terrestrial and aquatic environment, development of eco-friendly wood preservatives, and assessment of environmental implication of biodeterioration control measures. The benefit of wood preservation include aspects like widening the choice of timber species of different uses. ICFRE is gearing up itself for frontier areas of research in wood sciences, and the Forestry Institute Dehradun, they are working on DNA fingerprinting for timber forensic, which is going to help to solve lot many legal and other issues. Now we can play a very vital role in networking and sharing of knowledge among the forestry research and industries in South Asia and other parts of the world. India today's 10 of conventionally preferred species are depleted. There is a ban on logging from natural forest, and agroforestry is limited only to a fast-growing species. This workshop has come at a very right time for guiding us in new technologies, sharing ideas from each other, and to really develop wood as continue to develop wood as the in the service of the mankind. With some spectacular achievement in the last half century, wood has come to be realized not merely as a raw material from tree, but as an economic material of global importance to meet the forecasted needs of the globe. I hope the deliberation in the conference will give highly elevated status to wood and its artistic form, bringing back the glory it enjoyed in the past decades before the advent of several wood substitutes. I request that all of us, researchers, wood scientists, foresters, and industry would put our head together in this seminar to really rediscover wood, as wood is such a versatile gift of nature, the mankind, that it never can be replaced by any artificial matter, no matter how beautiful is the matter substitute. Let us rediscover and celebrate the joy of wood and set agenda for international cooperation in bringing wood again in the forefront of the use for the mankind. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bahuguna has called upon the entire fraternity to kindly come together and work towards bringing back the glory of the wood to its originality. Thank you very much, sir, for your words. We now move on the dais. We all are aware the work being done by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO Rome, is contributing immensely in the allied fields. We have the director, Dr. R. Michael Martin, on the dais. It's my pleasure to request Dr. Michael Martin to address all of us. Please put your hands together and welcome Dr. R. Michael Martin.
Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, colleagues. The purpose of this short address is to simply welcome you on behalf of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. We work largely on agricultural issues. We work to address hunger and the connection between hunger, poverty, and nutrition. We have important roles that have been given to us related to sustainable management of forests and sustainable use of fisheries. That work is done with countries, and India has long been a very important partner for the Food and Agriculture Organization in trying to improve food security around the world. Today, I have lots to say on the subject of the art and joy of wood. I'll save it for the session a little bit further in the morning. Main thing for me is to come and to learn from you and to listen to you. I'm very happy to see so many young students here with us today. I think they've got a lot of ideas that the rest of us can learn from about the future. What I've learned already in the past few years is the future of work, and the future of how we live, is much different than what we can imagine today, because we have a tendency to look backwards in time. And it's the young people who are really a guiding light, give us inspiration, because in the face of what is often complaints about how we've progressed as society, the state of environmental affairs, the youth maintain an enthusiasm, an energy, an optimism that gives us that inspiration to continue to try to tackle these issues. And with their support and with their help, and with the strong institutions in India and many of the other countries represented today, I think we can put together, once again, a strong connection between consumption and production. And this is in part what we'll be talking about over the course of this conference, is how to link a cycle of sustainable production and consumption. And I think the history of wood and how we've embraced that in our cultures the traditions that we've developed give us some signs, some signals, some inspiration, some ideas that can be both applied in the forest sector, but can also give hope, excitement, and inspiration to other sectors, because we are part of a unity of people that are trying to look at how we live on the planet and how we can take forward our best with almost 9 billion people coming very soon. Demographically, they're here with us. They're here with us very soon. And how are we going to create a world with a degree of sustainability that gives us the natural beauty, the natural processes that we've grown to love and to need, and yet at the same time meet our needs? So we have, I think, a very important group here today, people who are interested in these issues, trying to bring together our cultures, our traditions, our histories, and project those into the future and find a path. So anyway, again, many thanks from the Food and Agriculture Organization. Many thanks to the very senior people who've joined us for some time this morning. And many thanks to the students and to the designers and the architects and the thinkers who want to be part of this discussion and contribute to a brighter future. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Michael Martin has complimented the youth for the optimism and the inspiration which they show, and he has hoped that with the support of the youth, the designated goals will be achieved. Thank you, sir, for your nice words. We now move on. On the dais, we have Dr. P.J. Dilip Kumar, the Director General and Special Secretary, Ministry of Environment and Forests. It's my privilege to request Dr. Dilip Kumar to address all of us.
Honorable Minister from Tripura, Sri Jitendra Chaudhary, and dignitaries on the dais, and honored delegates and guests. It's my great pleasure to have this opportunity to address a few of my thoughts to you. Unfortunately, because I'm not able to read what's here, I'll not follow this. So I'll request Mr. Joshi's indulgence for not following his text, which spreads to 4 pages. So I think I'll spare you that. I think it's a wonderful thing that you have conferences which usually talk about the science and technology of things. And here, this wonderful idea has been given to us by the FAO to celebrate the art and joy of wood. And I think this is really very apposite in this day and age when everything comes in a little box. But wood is something which is there in our lives all the time and adds to the richness of our lives. My own interaction with the art and joy of wood was basically through musical instruments. So when I was trying to get some musical instruments and put together a collection, I found that this is a very, very arcane and mysterious world. And talking to these people, this manufacture of musical instruments in India especially has been very much a handicraft-based sector where there's no standardization, no machines and so on. So if you go there, you'll have workshops where everything is lying around and people are using their hands and feet and toes and fingers and even their mouths to machine old pieces of wood. And each musical instrument is an individual piece in itself. It's not mass produced. And what transpired was that it's very difficult for them to get good seasoned wood. And so if you make a musical instrument with a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old seasoned wood, you pay maybe 30,000 rupees. The same instrument made with, say, a 20-year seasoned wood, old wood, costs, say, 50,000 rupees. And if it's a 100-year-old wood, it's 100,000 rupees. And where do they get this wood? They get it from old houses, they get it from the countryside, they get it from old furniture, and so on. So these people are all the time scouring the countryside for old wood of different species like teak and tuna and things like that. So here's a sector, or here's a occupation or a industry where we as scientists and technologists ought to be helping them by finding out ways of maybe artificially aging wood, because these musical instruments are living, breathing things, and each one has its own timbre and sound and so on. So I think musical instruments represents one very wonderful sector where all our faculties are engaged, and really the art and beauty of wood comes through, because it's not just in the sound but in the visual appeal that musical instruments appeal to us. So that's one thing. Another issue or another little problem which confronts us in India is always that there is so much demand for certain types of wood that there's been a lot of illegal or illicit removal of these woods. My friends from the Forest Service are here, and when we entered service in the 1970s, not so young anymore, there used to be a huge amount of sandalwood being smuggled. Even from the police commissioner's compound, for example, one day he'd wake up and his sandal tree would have disappeared. I was in the Institute of Wood Science and Technology for 3 years as coordinator research, and right opposite my house, and Dr. Srinivasan, our director, was there. There used to be some plus trees of sandal. So every day we used to be afraid that the plus tree would be knocked off. But sandal smuggling took away most of the mature trees, and now there are hardly any big trees left in our country. And as you know, a long time back, if you read James Michener's Hawaii finished off its sandal trees long back. Sandal used to come from other islands in the Pacific and Southeast Asia, but it's all gone now. So there's a little bit of sandal left in South India, and all the good trees have gone. So we wonder why there is so much demand for certain types of wood. Red sanders, Pterocarpus santalinus, is another species. We are really puzzled why there is so much demand in East Asia for this wood, with the result that a large quantity is always taken out illegally. So these are some of the things now that we have got together, and there are so many guests from other countries. I think we should get together and try to find out what's happening here. As you know, India is a net importer, and there's a huge demand of wood, for wood and wood products. It's also a growing economy, so you can expect that with growing economy, the demand for wood and wood products also will grow at a faster pace because of the elasticity of demand. And it's also very interesting that wood provides 60 to 70% of energy in this country, but it's a forgotten sort of source of energy. It's an unsung source of energy. We in India are trying to revitalize the forests of this country through a participatory mode of management. We have 100,000 village forest committees where we undertake joint management of the forests. With these communities, we have about 20 million hectares under this type of management, and 100,000 committees which are doing a very good service. And the result is that over the last 10 years, that is from 1997 to 2007, at the time of the last assessment of our forest resources, we found that our forests have actually increased by about 3 million hectares, which is about 0.3 million hectares every year. So I think it is possible to conserve the world's forests if we work with the people, with the communities, because everybody loves trees. There is also this issue of growing urban populations, and if we want to keep our open spaces, we should pay special attention to urban and peri-urban areas and preserve the open spaces. Because today there's so much population in urban areas that people don't have space to walk. And if people don't walk, they're going to have lifestyle diseases like diabetes and blood pressure and hypertension and heart disease and so on. So I think for the health of mankind, it's absolutely essential that we preserve these open spaces. And in India, we have a target of having 33% or 1/3 of the area under forests. And you know, Professor Lovelock, in his books on the concept of Gaia, the earth as a living organism, he talks about at least 1/3 of the land area having to be under natural ecosystems to maintain water resources, to maintain the balance in the atmosphere, to combat climate change, in order to sustain the food requirements of the people and the industrial and residential requirements 1/3 area for industry and residences, 1/3 area for food production, 1/3 area for natural ecosystems and biodiversity conservation. And in India, we have tried to do that. We depend heavily on trees outside forest for this. And we are going to have a very ambitious program of greening India as one of the 8 climate adaptation, climate mitigation, climate change mitigation missions of this country, the Prime Minister's program. So with these few words, let me once again welcome all of you to this wonderful workshop. And I understand that a number of craftsmen have come. And I think it's a great thing that we can go and sit with them, learn from them. As they say in our Upanishads, old scriptures, let us walk together, let us sit together, let us confer together, and let us not get irritated with each other. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Dilip Kumar gave us a comprehensive outline about the various aspects about the wood, and also he has called upon the entire fraternity to work together. Thank you, sir, for your words. And now it's my pleasure to request the Honorable Minister, Shri Jitendra Chaudhary, the Honorable Forest Minister, Government of Tripura. It's indeed a pleasure to have you here, sir. It's now over to him to address all of us. Please put your hands together and welcome.
Good morning to you, everybody. Mr. Dilip Kumar, Director General of Forest and Special Secretary, Government of India. Dr. Howard Rosen, Chair, IUFRU. Dr. V.K. Bahuguna, DG ICFRE. Dr. R. Mitchell Martin, Director FAO. Mr. S. Joshi, Director IWST, and Dr. Sen Pandit, Director EPT. Ladies and gentlemen who are out here in this Bangalore from abroad and also from different institutions, Government of India and other services. It gives me immense pleasure in addressing the august gathering of eminent researchers, experts, wood users, producers, and policymakers attending the International Conference on Art and Joy of Wood, which is titled as Rediscovering Wood, the Key to a Sustainable Future. We do celebrate togetherness with the nature during the times of Vana Mahotsavs in our country. While celebrating the International Year of Forests, there is an opportunity to look at the evolving relationship between the mankind and forest ecosystems and its future sustainability. Wood is a wonderful produce of our forest ecosystems, which can serve as raw material for many industries. The industries relating to construction, plywood, paper, pulp, and packaging consume about 60% available wood. Further industrial uses of wood relate to furniture, agricultural implements, matchsticks, sports goods, handicrafts, veneers, MDF board, particle board, etc. A substantial quantity of wood is also used as firewood throughout the world. The variety of wood as a juvenile, softwood, and hardwood makes a lot of difference in its use pattern. The current estimated gap in demand-supply situation of hardwood in our country is, as learned, is about 34 million cum, whereas for softwood it about 9 million cum. This shortage is likely to get accentuated in next 10 years. The shortage of wood has led the entrepreneurs as well as craftsmen to think in terms of making sofa sets like lantana camara woody stems. Due to increasing paucity of wood, the researchers through their innovative endeavors are trying to utilize the waste material of small timber which otherwise was being utilized as waste of firewood. Now even the wood dust is also being put to use. It gives me pain when I do see valuable timber like teak being converted into firewood by the poor for earning their livelihood. These are happening in many parts of our country where monocultures of certain species have cared little of the poor. In the context of poor and existing poverty, the poor man's timber, that is bamboo, needs special mention. This woody grass plays an important role in the economy through employment generation and household income augmentation. As I belong to Tripura and representing my state, you know, the area of my state is only 10,500 square kilometer, having only 3.7 million population. So I like to give some example of what initiative we have taken on this. That Tripura state in India, northeastern India, has about 23% of area under bamboo cover. Through bamboo utilization and extraction, generates about 6.1 million mendes per annum. That is the employment. About 0.15 million artisans are engaged in various value addition activities. Out of them, about 20,000 artisans are engaged in producing handicraft items, generating an estimated annual craft sale value of rupees 140 million. Recent development have changed the image of bamboo from poor man's timber to high-tech raw material for industries as substitute for wood. Further, bamboo is being utilized in building and construction, plywood, board, furniture, handicrafts, and in cottage sector as incense sticks, Venetian blinds, fishing rods, ice cream sticks, etc. besides supplies to the paper mills. From the sale of incense sticks alone, people are earning about rupees 700 millions annually from Tripura. Further, Tripura has about 54,000 hectares of rubber plantations as the second largest rubber producing state in our country. Plantations have been raised since early 70s. Rubber plantation requires replanting after 30 to 34 years when collection of latex becomes uneconomical. For commercial utilization and value addition to those rubber logs felled during the replantation, treatment and seasoning plants were established by one of our corporation. Thereafter, rubber wood board factory has established is making furniture using the treated rubber wood and board. Creative combination of treated rubber wood and bamboos is helping the local artisans in monetizing the value addition. Considering the vast scope of value addition, and export-oriented door manufacturing unit using rubber wood board is being established. The art and joy of wood can really be deciphered in the growth of ecotourism, wherein people tend to spend some time in the lap of pristine nature. Our country is endowed with rich variety of tourist attractions consisting of hills, mountains, water bodies, archaeological monuments, palaces, forests, and wildlife, traditional craftsmanship, and rich cultural diversities. Apart from these examples, wood has certain peculiar properties. Unlike steel, cement, bricks, or plastics, wood requires less energy to convert into usable form. There is a minimal waste in the production process, and residue material from timber components is commonly used in the manufacture of other products such as particle board as a fuel source of agriculture. A PVC window frame has more than 7 times the energy input in manufacture than a wooden window frame of similar size and design. Wood is decidedly more environment friendly than aluminum or PVC. Wood further enjoys extremely good insulation properties. In order to conserve, utilize, and augment the sustained flow of woods from the forest, its plant management is essential. As right now our DG Forest has mentioned, I'm happy to note that recently launched Green India Mission takes care of holistic management of valuable resource base by the objectives of improved tree cover, ecosystem services, incomes, and carbon sequestration. Wood certification also assures sustainable management of forests taking into account the environmental, economic, social, and cultural dimensions of forest management. Thus, the pursuit of sustainability will help us in managing the resources in such a way that the wood of desired quality is produced and demand-supply gap abreached. The combination of good quality raw material, skill craftsmanship, and the use of latest technology will help in continually enjoying the woods. The challenge lies in how artfully do we craft the innovative management endeavors and enable entrepreneurial endeavors to harness its potential. The topic of the conference has kept me engrossed about the art and creativity involved with the wood. When do I look at the innovative wood products, it keeps me engrossed, whether the wood science is discipline of artistic science of scientific art. However, I salute the pursuit of creativity and innovativeness associated with the wood and timber products. At the end, I also compliment the efforts made by MUF, FAO, ICFRE, IPIRTI, IWST, and IUFRO, and all other organizations in their collective effort of discovering wood for sustainable future, and with this, and wish this conference a grand success. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister has given us an insight into the comprehensive insight, in fact, about the art and joy of food, and in particularly how Tripura is striving hard towards this noble endeavor. He has complimented the efforts of everyone, the important agencies which is striving hard. At this juncture, I would request Sri Joshi to kindly give a memento to Sri Jitendra Chaudhary, the Honorable Forest Minister, Government of Tripura. Sri S. C. Joshi, Director, Institute of Wood Science and Technology. Thank you, sir, for your presence. I would also request Sri Joshi to give a memento to Dr. P.J. Dilip Kumar, Director General and Special Secretary, Ministry of Environment and Forests. I would now request Dr. C.N. Pandey, Director, Indian Plywood Industries Research and Training Institute, to give a memento to Dr. V.K. Bahuguna. Dr. Michael Martin, I would request Sri Pandey to give a memento to Dr. R. Michael Martin, Director, FAO. Thank you, Dr. Martin, for your presence. And also to Dr. Howard Rosen, the Chair of IUFRO Working Party on Wood Culture. Thank you very much, Dr. Howard Rosen. I would request Dr. C.N. Pandey, the Director of Indian Plywood Industries Research and Training, for the concluding remarks and to propose vote of thanks. Dr. C.N. Pandey.
A very good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister, Forest and Industries, Government of Tripura, Sri Jitendra Chaudhary ji, Dr. P.J. Dilip Kumar, Director General Forest and Special Secretary to Government of India, Dr. Bahuguna, Director General ICFRE, Dr. Mike Martin, Director FAO, Dr. Howard Rosen, Chair IFRO, Working Parties of Wood Culture, Dr. Joshi, Director IWST, most valued invited guests, people from electronic and press media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege for me to express warm and sincere thanks on behalf of the organizing institutes and IFRO and all of us here to Honorable Minister Sri S. Suresh Kumar for his gracious presence and delivering a meaningful and thought-provoking inaugural address. We are highly encouraged by the presence of Honorable Minister, Government of Tripura, for presiding over the function and sharing his experience about his state, that how bamboo and plantation timbers like rubber wood has helped in providing opportunities for the employment and revenue generation for the state. The very presence of Honorable Minister is a reflection of the importance of this that is attached with this conference and exhibition, and his love and affection for the wood and wood products. The tone of the day has already been set by the very knowledgeable senior forester sitting on the dais, Dr. P.J. Dilip Kumar, Director General and Special Secretary to Government of India. I am thankful to you, sir, for your commitment and full support on behalf of the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India in organizing this event. We would like to assure you that outcome of the conference would be placed on record and its finding will be submitted to Ministry for your consideration and taking forward the issues with the different departments. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Howard Rosen for his inspiring word, especially for the young scientist from Forest Research Institute, Dehradun. I would also like to take opportunity to express our hearty thanks to Dr. Michael Martin, Director FAO, Dr. V.K. Bahuguna, Director General ICFRE, for his gracious presence and addressing the participant and conveying the message about the art and joy of the wood. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to Dr. Joshi, Director IWST, and his team for meticulous planning and execution of each and every activities related to this conference and exhibition. I am also grateful to the all illustrious speakers from the India and far up places around the world for their participation in the conference and exhibition and sharing their wisdom and experience. As we all know, that success of any program depends on the efforts of the many people. We would therefore like to thank Director General FAO for fully supporting this program, which has allowed many of us to come at a single platform and share our experience and wisdom. My thanks also goes to Wood News, PEFC, American Hardwood Export Council, and Commonwealth Forestry Association for sponsoring the conference and their support. On the initiative of the FAO and Ministry of Environment and Forest, we are especially pleased to be able to hold this conference in India to celebrate the International Year of Forest with a belief that sustainable use of wood can contribute to a greener future for India as well as rest of the world. India as an emerging economy facing both exciting opportunities and difficult challenges. As already been told by DG Forest and Special Secretary to Government of India, that there is a mismatch between the production of timber and its utilization. And this is going to be a great challenge in future for making the raw material available to the wood-based industries. And I hope that this conference and exhibition not only break new grounds in terms of its content, but also serves to break the ice between the various sectors. We are grateful to the members of the Conference Advisory Committee, whose members have shared valuable insight in shaping this conference. We also express our warm appreciation to many people behind the scene who have worked hard to make this conference happen. I am also grateful to the media for covering this event. On you rests the responsibility of bringing awareness among the various sectors and public in general. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Conference Secretariat, especially Dr. Pankaj Agrawal and his team from IWST, Dr. Chawla and Dr. Jagdish Vengla and his team from IPERTI, and lastly to Dr. Adrian Whiteman and Animan Elias from FAO, who has been really instrumental in guiding that how this conference should be organized and what are their requirements and how things should be arranged. I would like to once again thank you all for making this inaugural function a success, and we hope to have wonderful 3 days coming ahead of us. This event will be remembered as a milestone in the history of the forest product utilization. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. C.N. Pandey, for proposing vote of thanks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the conclusion of the podium function. Kindly note, there's wonderful stalls has been arranged by the organizers. You can take a look at it, have a high tea, And the high tea is arranged in the dining area, which is underneath the main auditorium. So you can go down, enjoy your tea, go around the stalls, and do come back in 30 minutes, half an hour. Thank you very much once again. Namaskar, and do come back quickly. Once again, thank you very much to all the dignitaries on the dais. It was indeed gratifying to have your presence. Thank you, sir, and namaskar.